and not agreeing on anything, and sometimes causing scenes, actually embarrassing scenes. So I think that it's time that we start forming a more effective union, other than the Arab League, because it's not working.
Well, okay, some Arabs are embarrassed by the fact that there are Arabs everywhere in the world. I'm not one of them. And I like seeing Arabs not agreeing on everything. I like seeing Arabs debating things and discussing things here. For example, we do not agree, and it's called suddenly debate and democracy. Sometimes disagreement is good. Sometimes disagreement is bad. Now,
the point she's making is they're being paid to do more than debate in the Arab League. They're paid to come up with some kinds of decisions. Isn't that right?
The question is the question in that case is whether this organization is an efficient organization. Is it run by voting, etc.? I think usually interstate organizations like these who don't have power to impose their will, don't like to vote things. They like to agree on things by consent, what we call consensus, because they cannot empower. No, you can't have a majority to impose things, to dictate things. They don't have an army like the Security Council sometimes now. Now they have to agree on things. That's why they have to debate. The problem is not the fact that you disagree or you debate. The question is the people there, the kind of the regimes, their ideas, their thinking, what they want to make the Arab League of tool for themselves to impose their will. Yes, this is a problem that needs to be changed.
Are you happy with that kind of answer?
No, because he says that we should empower the people in the Arab League, and so how do you suggest we empower them?
No, you have to change. We can't be lazy about democracy. Expecting the United States bringing us to buy ships and changing the Arab League instead of changing our regime. I think there is a kind of laziness of democratic forces in the Arab world who want democracy for them being served, sometimes by ships, sometimes by changing the Arab League. Democratic forces have to make democratic actions in their countries and not complain about the Arab League.
All right, Shafik Gabra, you want to make a point here?
I think it is very important that the Arab League knows, and it's not about the Arab states now, but the Arab League knows that we would want to dismantle it, that we are not happy. It does not represent us.
So this motion is tactical.
And that the Arab League needs to know. Because, you see, short of that, the Arab world will only move from one defeat to the other, and from one stagnation to the other.
Tim, you understand now. The motion is to strengthen the Arab League. They want the Arab League to understand this, so to improve. Okay, fine. That's fine.
Could he just finish, and then we're going to move to another question.
The Arab League should know that we want to dismantle it, and it had better dismantle itself because it is irrelevant. However, one last point. Let me say it before you give me the dangerous finger. Please, Hisham, this is the type of the Arab League that we have. It always intercepts others when they speak.
No,
Hisham, let me speak. This is the type. This is exactly. And not only that, I want to ask you a question.
But you're Egyptian diplomat,
you should not do that.
No, and then
you have been infected by the Arab League. Please.
It's a question.
He has 10 more seconds. He has 10 more seconds.
The second problem I have, please, hear my second problem. Is Azmi, I have a problem with your thinking.
Okay.
And I'll tell you where.
You're not the only one.
I'll tell you where, Azmi. You said, I'm quoting you, you feel suspicious with people. You see, you're suspicious with the other point of view, and that's another problem for the Arab world and the Arab League as well.
All right, okay, we're going up to a gentleman at the back. You, sir.
You want to disband anything suspicious in this world?
Thank you, we're moving on. Gentleman at the back, can we get a microphone to you, please?
My question was why do we keep this league? It shows failure, it shows weakness. Why should I be proud that such league represents me when others interfere in my country, in my states? Or why is there no trust between the Arab states? They have conflicts. If the Arab League can't solve the conflicts, how can we face the world? Our reputation is spoiled for the other people or in the Western countries. We have to fix this, and the Arab League is sleeping to this case.
You're talking with somebody who's not represented in the Arab League and certainly not proud of the Arab League.
But you still
now, the
want to keep
motion
it.
was not whether we should be proud about the Arab League or we should not be proud about the Arab League.
But you want to keep it. And he says, why do you want to keep it? You're voting for that motion.
Yeah, well, yes, exactly. But keeping the Arab League, as I said, it's the only organization which is there, having the Arab states together, reminding us of the fact that there is something in common between Arabs, not only in language and in culture, but also in the political dream in yearning for some better life in the future and coordinating the minimum.
Shaffiq Gabra is going to come in here.
Part of dismantling Arab identity.
Shaffiq Gabra has been very patient, unusually.
This is the issue. Commonality of Arabs in the Arab League, lack of teamwork, dispute, lack of agreement, lack of efficiency, lack of ability to solve any serious problem in the Arab world. So, you see, when the question from the gentleman over there was very clear on the Arab League, if you compare with Europe, luckily, Europe didn't have the Arab League. Luckily, what Europe had was an organization that is for steel, for economics, for economic activity. Economics came first. Jobs, education, development, human integration, and that's how slowly Europe evolved.
Europe had 2 world wars, very destructive. The Holocaust was in Europe. Extreme nationalism was in Europe. What you had after that is democratic regimes who formed the unity. Democratic regimes, you did not have first the European unity and then democracy. You had democratic regimes who formed European unity. That's what you had. But you don't have an Arab League in Europe. It's too much. I mean,
let him come back.
The Europeans are okay because they're not Arabs, is it? What is this?
Can he come back on that, please?
I mean, we should be now embarrassed about our identity. Is it racism? What is it?
We really do need to hear from the other side. Thank you.
In a way, if I hear you well, Azmi, what you are saying, we're going to go through hell and through many wars before we really start to see the hope. And I believe there is a dream in the Arab world that can happen in democracy and development. And it can happen very soon.
We should have democracy.
And this is the time for change.
Okay,
and that's part of it.
Gentlemen in the second row.
That is part of it.
Gentlemen in the second row. Thank you very much.
Mr. Hisham, with regards to you talk about success stories economically with the between the Arab states. But on the other hand, all of us over here, I think, do agree that with regards to political issues, the Arab League has failed miserably. What do you plan on doing? Being an active member in the Arab League or being the head of Mr. Amr Musa's office?
Let me maybe take a minute and talk about the 4 or 5 main issues that we are facing in the Arab world. Let me start by the Arab-Israeli conflict and the situation in Palestine. As a result of the elections, the United States, the European Union decided not to assist the Palestinian Authority. We decided otherwise. And we decided that we will support the Palestinian Authority, and we are helping the Palestinian Authority, and we're trying to transfer money to the Palestinian Authority. We have been receiving phone calls every single day. They haven't received their salaries until this very day. So we're working on it, and we will transfer assistance to the Palestinian people. In the last 5 years, the Arab League transferred $1.5 billion to the Palestinian people. It may not be enough, because the suffering is much greater than that. But this is what we were able to do. In relation to Iraq, we have been working on the Conference for Accord and Reconciliation. The preparatory meeting was held in Cairo. The conference itself is supposed to take place in Iraq. We were waiting for the formation of the government. We still are waiting. There has been some progress, and we hope that in the very near future, this government would be in place, and we would be able to continue our efforts in order to achieve reconciliation.
Okay, let me come back to the question. Are you impressed with what you've heard?
No, not. I mean, conferences, meetings have been going on for the last 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And nothing comes out of it genuinely. I mean, when Mr. Sorry, I forgot the name. Mr. الغبرا was talking about the traveling between the GCC states with the ID. This took us almost 20 years to come at, and we're talking about 6 states. We talk the same language. We are brothers, cousins. We have the same culture, the same traditions. 6 states took them 20 years to come up with a single ID card and have normal borders, except for Saudi, that we still cannot go through with this card. So what do you expect for 22 countries to come in and get one single issue that is anything that to help us as citizens of the Arab nation, to help